Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. And this is something that I've wanted to do for a little while. I recently made this DIY hammock. It's a neighbor's dog's. And I mistakenly didn't make a video about it. So I wanted to work backwards and show you how you can make your own DIY hammock with maybe some stuff that you have laying around the house and some $10 paracord. So stay tuned. So, for the purposes of this video, I took a 50-foot length of paracord. It's 510 paracord. I think it's a 110-pound rated working limit, which is the same as the one that I had for the other hammock. And I cut it down in half, so I got 25 feet here and 25 feet here. Now that's a lot for a typical hammock. It's gonna give you a very long span, but it could come in very handy when you have limited space between trees. So, let's take a look at what we have for material. The only thing that I can find was, I think it's an old futon cover, but it's basically the only thing my wife would let me use. Using new sheets is a no-no, but this will serve its purpose for the video, and it's not something that I'm going to keep in my pack because it's double layered. I think a mattress fits inside here, and it's quite heavy to lug around. So just to show you guys how it works, this is going to do just fine. So to start, you're going to want to find what your length and your width is and find the longest section. For me, in this setup, I believe the longest section will be opposite the opening. You're going to want to take the extremities and fold it in. Let's find that center. Obviously, I have to work with 2 layers now. Find that center, and then I brought it up the middle. Come grab those guys. Now I have a flap here and a flap there. Next, you just fold them in on themselves. I would say right about there is good. Next, you want to take your paracord. You find the center of your paracord, and you're going to make a closed clove hitch. So to do that, you take one half and you fold it over, make yourself a loop, and the other half you fold it under and make yourself a loop. And you cross them both together, you expand it, and you just wrap it around a little bit here. Now here's the important part. My opening, which is I think on this side, I'm going to want to bring that crossover section to the front, okay? Now before I close it, I'm going to take the loose end of the paracord. I'm going to find the middle of that fold, and just loop it through. Okay? Now you should look something like this. You have your clove hitch with the cable going through on the other side between your opening and your knot. Next up, pull it tight. And back through. And that's one half of your hammock. So to string up one side of the tree, I'm going to throw the paracord over the branch. This way I have something easy to work with. To tie it off, what I'm going to do is make an alpine butterfly. You take your working end and your hand, and you wrap it over one time. You wrap it over a second time, but between the first two. And then you take the outskirt and you fold it underneath and out. And let it drop. Now you have something to attach to. Pull it through halfway and just give it a simple half hitch. Secure it in. Now I like to give it a second half hitch to lock it in place. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now, there is one thing that I wanted to mention that I didn't get around to in the main video, so I'm gonna stop the video right here and add that in the center. These paracords, they're about 4 millimeters thick, and they're very, very small. And with all the weight on it, can actually damage the bark of the tree. For the purpose of the video, it's not so bad, but with overnight exposure, it could damage the bark and could damage the tree. So here's another little half a tip for you. Using an old baby car seat, I have the seat belt on it, and you can just simply use one of these. Now, how am I going to tie the paracord to the seat belt strap? One of the ways to do it would be to use a sheet bend. Now, to do the sheet bend, because I have two different sizes, let me just even these out here. See, this is nice and flat, and it's not going to damage your bark with extra tension on it. So to do the sheet bend, you fold it in on itself. Now, I'm just going to go with one strand of paracord so you can see what I'm doing. And you wrap it in through, okay? Once that's done, you take it and you wrap it around and over, and then you can pass it through the cord. Once you put tension on here, it's not going to go anywhere. So let's do it again. You take your flap, you make yourself a loop. Your paracord, single strand, multiple strand, it doesn't matter. Pass it through, over and under, and then through that first bend. Adjust the size that you want. And lock it in place. To adjust the length of it, it's going to be a little trial and error, but you are going to preserve the bark of the tree. Now back to the video. So obviously for the first test, this is a little high, because if it does fail, I got a long way to go down. So let's loosen it up and bring it kind of close to the ground. That should be good enough. It's gonna stretch once you put a little bit of weight on it, but for the purposes of testing it, this will be good enough. Okay, let's have a seat. One of two things is going to happen. Either my ropes are going to fail, or the material is going to fail. I've got no failures. This is really small. I think I would feel more comfortable stringing it up a little higher. Nerve-wracking. I'm a good 3 feet off the ground right now. No, maybe 2 feet. So there you have it. Your DIY hammock made with nothing more than a sheet I had laying around and some paracord for less than $10. The one that I have, I'll probably pack up and make some more videos in the future. And this one here, I'm going to dismantle. It's covered in dog hair. It's absolutely disgusting. I feel like I need a shower just sitting on it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you later.